My name's Bernard Kiffle, 20 years now, 20th year that I've been working here. I was already in a group in another side of Stockport that was an alcohol abstinence group because I had a very heavy drinking problem many years ago. You know, that's where I started learning about communities and what they do. You know, I'd never really seen this side of life, you know. I had to get interested to sort of save my life, really, you know. I'm the chairman of the committee here now after quite a few years, and I have a commitment to look after this part of Heaton Norris, you know, and all the community that come in and use it. You know, we needed. It's a proper need that we give, you know, to the community. I recommend this building every day to people to come in and what we give, you know, what groups that we facilitate, you know, it's a must for moving on. We can give people employment, you know, and all that sort of thing. The committee's fantastic. We've been together for 15 years, all passionate about what we do. I try every day to, you know, make a bit of difference. It's all a ways to a job as well, you know, for the younger people that attend here. Just by the fact that they're going to gain qualifications to enhance their CVs. Yeah. That's the buzz that when they do get a job. Maybe some for the very first time ever. Yeah. You know, big buzz.
The community center is like a family for me because I don't have family here. So they give us any help that we want, fill in form, any question. So, yeah. Also, I work here as a volunteer, so that make me improve my skills, even build up my CV.
And could you tell us a bit about your story?
First of all, I was born in London because my dad took his PhD from King's College, so I was born in London. When I was 3 years old, we moved back to Iraq because he finished his studies. So before 3 years, you know, the situation in my country was very bad. So I decided to come here because I have chance for my kids' future because the situation there is bad. So I came with my 2 kids, and my husband just stayed in Iraq. I found Nadia and Bernard as a family to me. They helped me a lot. They helped me fill in form, finding job. And after 1 year, the spouse visa is success, and my husband came. And it doesn't stop like this. They even helped my husband to improve his language, to prepare him for interview. Even they find a job, a full-time job for him. And he's working now.
Well, I came to Britain when I was 1 year old, and not many people know that, so I'm technically an immigrant.
Oh, really?
And yes, and I lived in a community of Irish people, and that was, we had that experience in the 60s of growing up within the Irish community, but as an immigrant, and a lot of people don't always appreciate that. A lot of Irish people suffered racism in the early 60s, and we actually met a lot of people that came over from the Caribbean, because Britain actually recruited people from the Caribbean as well as Irish people at the same time in the 60s to work on the buses. And my father used to invite people to our home for dinner, particularly from the Caribbean, because they didn't have their family like we had. So they used to come for Sunday dinner. So I'm quite well used to have that understanding about race, and also about people who became immigrants and they're needing to understand to settle into a different type of community. And I think that's probably forged for me a very strong community spirit, and that's carried me throughout my life. I used to have a local shop newsagents and grocers in the Heaton Norris area when I was in my 20s. And again, I learnt a lot about people in the shop that used to come in and obviously buy things from me. And that was a wonderful learning experience. And that was at the time when we had, again, a lot of immigrants coming from Pakistan who came to work in the factories. And I met quite a lot of them, you know, through the shop, and again had an understanding of their experience. And I think that probably set the ground rules for forging for me quite a feel of needing community and community spirit and needing to be sort of inclusive. So from there I actually went on and took a degree late on in life and became a social worker. So I worked with children and families and also with elderly and people with disabilities for many years for the local council. So again, that's probably this idea of community is probably in my soul now, and I don't think I will ever get rid of it. And it's probably because when I then retired, I obviously still wanted to feel part of that wider community, and that's why I came to sort of work on the park. I came to this park when I was a child. My father brought me and I used to play on the park. I'm secretary of the Friends of the Park Association, and so I've helped with doing a lot of the planting and also helped getting equipment. This bench that was sat on was one of my projects. I've gained a lot of opportunities in getting to know people, getting to know the gardeners, getting to know the teachers that come to do the community sessions. They're very passionate about young people and giving them the opportunities of being part of a wider community that is a caring community.
I left school at 15, like we all did then. Was in the building trade like all my brothers. Sadly, I was on good money when I was a teenager. That was a bit of a handicap, really. Quite a lot of money when I was 17 and, you know, and 18 and that, and further on. So it was more than likely out every night. Lots and lots of drink involved, lots and lots. All-nighters, you know, the all-night dancers, the wheel, we had one down here. Lots of pills. But as you get older, the drinking really, you know, takes a grip. And then it's, I'll go to work tomorrow, I'll go to work tomorrow, and then that week, you've lost a week, and then if there's money about, you're off another week. And I just got fairly ill, you know, in the later stages, the 30s, the late 30s, and that I was fairly very ill, really. And then early 40s, I had a really good awakening. I had a heart attack, you know, and I have to say it was the best thing that ever happened to me. The best thing that ever happened, because my brother come into the intensive care unit and he'd lost his son not long before that. And his face, and you know, and I'd never seen him like that, you know, never seen him look like that. And right there and then I went, that's it now. That's my lot, you know. Mum and Dad had gone, you know, so there were just 4 brothers, you know, and it was the rock bottom that I needed, that, you know. And I started seeing people, you know, Surtec House, that was drug and alcohol rehabilitation. Put me on to this lady, her name was Sue. She stuck with me for 3 years. I was a proper mess. It took very horrendous, you know, to come off the things I was on, even prescription drugs that I was abusing. But I have to say, we did it, as in me and Susan. We finally got it all shook out. You know, my head somehow or other come round. I owe my life to that lady. You know, I really do, my sanity. And then it just went from there, meeting, the group met in the other side of Heaton Norris, and then some ladies that run another community centre asked me would I like to be on the committee. Well, it was a woman who asked, so I said yes, of course. Yes, of course. So I was there for about maybe a year. And then a local councillor, we have a picture of her on the wall, she's passed away since, Joan. Joan Kidd her name, and she asked me to come over here to do a bit of caretaking, which I like the sound of that, you know. And then that was me volunteering properly.
Because it's got such a nice atmosphere to it, everybody's so friendly and happy and wants to include you in everything, no matter what your interest is. There'll be a position for you, and this is where we do the back walks and we do art projects within the nature area. So yes, it works all together. We all knit together as one. Yes. And we all work together to clean areas and plant bulbs and seeds. I was born in Stockport. I've been in Stockport all my life. And I've been here now in Heaton, Norris for about 35 years. So I've worked here and in the centre of Stockport and connected with the whole of the parks projects. So yeah, it's all connected together.
This is the pavilion on the park. I got access to this facility about 4 years ago, but when I came in it was in such a lot of disrepair, it was quite shocking, and so I negotiated with our local youth offending team who were doing reparation and asked them would they come and as part of their reparation help decorate this pavilion, and that's what they did. They actually decorated and painted all the pavilion, and we tried to make it nice and pretty so that other people can use it. So it's now, from being a very limited facility, it's now quite a wide-ranging facility. And as you can see behind me, I put pictures up for the children in terms of educating them about the wildlife. We have a bat walk that we go through the whole of Stockport for children and families to listen to the bats and listen to the you know, to the birds, etc. So it's quite widely used. It was quite widely used up until obviously COVID.
So with the community centre, how was it like before the pandemic?
Oh, well, it ticked along, you know, really well. All sorts of groups come in here, you know, from Tai Chi to a cafe to young teenage girls group to a art group for kids. A full mix. It was great. And then it come along, you know, the big shutdown. Really, rather lost. Really, there was a lot of tears, you know, from staff and from, you know, the people that used the groups. You know, the what we're going to do sort of thing. And we got some grants in to purchase a few iPads. And we started doing stuff online, you know, face to face, which it was a hand, you know, it was a visual hand, you know, saying we've got your back still.
The ESOL courses just continue by Zoom meeting. Even our kids, there is like art classes for them through Zoom meeting, and even they bring to our home the craft back to our kids, you know, because of the kids, there's no school, they feel bored, so that help a lot. Sometimes they deliver to us fruit and vegetable, bread, so they help us a lot during this period.
I'm quite happy here. This will be my end section of my life, given my age, and so as long as I can keep coming to this community centre and being a part of this wider community, then I'm happy. It does feel like home, and I felt that when I bought the house here that I had actually come back home.
They are my family, not for me, for everyone.
That was the big door that opened for me then, you know, to be useful, to put something back in, to have a purpose every single day. And you know, I don't have to look back anymore. I can open my door anytime to a knock on it. You know, I'm a different guy. It's like another person's life, this second phase of it. It's like someone else, really, you know, and it's very, very pleasing to be this someone else. It really is.